Alright. Let's jump into the next one. STRAIT is the gate. Kane encounters an uncommon shade while NieR's village holds a festival. This should be interesting. This one seems shorter than The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid. Was it The Little Mermaid? Yeah, it was called The Little Mermaid. Holy shit, The Little Mermaid. Oh, The Little... Oh. Oh, man, that's dark. LT The Narrow Gate. Oh, boy. Direct illustration to the novel STRAIT is the Gate by Andre Gide. Distinctions that should be kept, borders that should be maintained, the melancholy and sighs of those treated as outsiders. Laughter from people of all ages can be heard beyond the tall stone wall. It seems like fun. Looking up the wall, Emil said while moving his nicely arranged teeth. He kept saying the same thing since a while ago. It's the 5th time already, Kane thought, although she kept silent. Tonight a festival is being held by Popola in NieR's village. It was either in celebration of the library's collection exceeding 10,000 volumes, or the 150th anniversary since the village's opening. But nobody knew for sure. And the main point was to find some excuse to make a ruckus throughout the whole night. I wonder, is NieR having fun tomorrow? Is NieR having fun now? Emil's voice was laced with conflicting feelings of hope for NieR's enjoyment and regret that he himself couldn't join in. Kane didn't answer him. If she spoke, then she'd definitely speak in the same tone as Emil did. Kane kept her silence and watched the closed gates of the village, fully intent on not even letting a bug through, a gate that she and Emil could never hope to pass. Aww. Aww. Popola! Devila! You f***ing skank! Yesterday night, Kane and Emil were sleeping outside as usual when the gates were suddenly opened. The person that passed through to their side was the village librarian Popola. I want to release the villagers from their daily lives in fear of shades for just one night. Her knowing eyes shining beneath her thick bangs, Popola spoke of the plan for tomorrow night's festival. It was obvious that she was thinking of NieR when she talked about the villagers. That's why she came to us, Kane thought. She knew that Kane and Emil would help her for NieR, so she came. During the festival, the people won't be as cautious of shades as they usually would be. I know that I'm pushing my luck in putting forth such a request when you're forbidden from entering the village. Leave the night watch to us. I'll keep all shades outside. Kane interrupted before Popola could finish a long-winded request. Keep watch outside the door is simply another way of saying don't come in the village even during the festival. What a bitch. I agree. I agree. Devila is a bitch with a capital B. She's a witch. Popola swiftly ignored Kane's glare. I'll be counting on you then. She bowed her head and left. Wow. Okay. Whatever. This village. So she leaves her village and this... Oh, okay. After she saved you, cool. Okay. After she turns a stone for you, mother, without any guarantee that she'll be able to make it out. But you know, make yourselves feel better. You skanks. This village. This village. It. NieR came to them at the break of dawn and said, there's some sort of festival tonight with a gloomy face. I don't really feel up for it. Once the festival begins, you'll feel better. Kane didn't miss a beat with her reply, but NieR simply kept his silence, as if he lost all enthusiasm. Emil deliberately said in a bright voice, "A festival, isn't that nice? You need a breather once in a while." But... Brat, what Emil said was right. Don't you understand that Popola was trying to get you to relax for your own good? You look like you could snap at any moment. After being berated by Grimoire Vice, NieR finally nodded. Then Kane and Emil should rest easy for tonight. Let's go to the festival together. I'll ask Popola if you guys can join in. NieR was completely innocent in his proposal. However, seeing his pale face being lit up by a healthy smile, Kane dug her nails into her hands, nearly hard enough to draw blood. Not interested. I'm not really good with night festivals since I get sleepy immediately. NieR, Vice, just enjoy yourselves, okay? Although the expression on his skull did not change, the waver in Emil's feelings could be heard from his rushed and slightly high-pitched tone. However, NieR did not notice. His response was disappointedly meek. He simply nodded and said, "I see." It seems like fun. Emil whispered the same words again in between yawns. That's the 6th time. Nothing, go to sleep. I'll take the watch. But sleep. NieR must be sleepy already. Emil easily believed Kane's words, though she had nothing to back them up with. "Good night," Emil said, and slipped beneath the thick covers that provided cover from the wind and rain. Almost immediately, his breathing began to slow down. His breaths were the same as that of normal children. I didn't know he could sleep. Gazing at the blanket that undulated with Emil's breaths for a few moments, Kane began to do some stretches. She lifted up her 2 swords. After making sure the blade wasn't dull, she placed them down again. To Kane, these 2 lumps of metal are better expressions of herself than words. She placed her hands on the handle and gripped it tightly. It went into the night, but the ruckus beyond the stone wall show no signs of receding. Not only that, it seems to increase in volume. A cheery tune accompanied by a rich voice resounded through the air. The voice probably belonged to Devila, who let her voice run free. Whistling and claps overlapping, the laughter was everywhere. The festival's in full swing. Can festivals really brighten and provide a release for people's hearts to that extent? To Kanye, who never had the luxury of experience, it was a bright and unknown world. I want to f***ing strangle Devila. And f***ing drown Popola. And vice versa. Along with the people's cheers, a savory aroma floated outside the village. It's meat. Kane's stomach rumbled. Almost in response to a summons plea, the door opened. Kane stood on guard for an instant, but relaxed when she recognized the thin silhouette that sprung for the ground. NieR stood holding a giant bowl of meat mixed with a load of vegetables and fruits. This motherfucker is like f***ing best boy. He does not get enough credit. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but his heart's in the right place. The bowl during The Little Mermaid, this during the... He's a good f***ing kid. He's a good f***ing egg. He's a good egg. A really good egg. Sometimes he's oblivious, but who cares? He more than makes up for it because he cares. You can forgive him for being an idiot sometimes. He's an honest idiot, but god damn if I don't love him for it. He's a good f***ing kid. God damn it. God damn it. I should not be saying that about another guy. But god damn, he's a good egg. NieR stood while holding a giant bowl of meat mixed with a load of vegetables and fruits. Thanks for your hard work. Aren't you hungry? They're cold now, but I brought you some meat. They look delicious, don't they? NieR looked at Emil's sleeping form and regretfully said, I guess I'm a bit late. Looking at delicious meat, Kanye tightened her lips. The festival must have brought much reprieve and enjoyment to NieR, though that he could have lost track of time easily. However, even during the festivities, NieR did not forget about them. He tried to share his happiness with them. Thank you. Thought the word. Though the words are simple, Kanye could not bring herself to say them. She opened and closed her mouth many times, but eventually decided on snatching the bowl from NieR. The meat was cooked well enough that its skin looked crisp, and Kanye immediately began stuffing herself with it. The meat beneath the skin was surprisingly soft, with every bite came a mouthful of meat sauce and blood. Kanye chewed thoroughly, as if putting the words she had to say, the words she wanted to say, into this simple mechanical action. Seeing NieR's antics, NieR smiled. Sorry, I gotta reread that because I butchered that. Kanye chewed thoroughly, as if putting the words she had to say, the words she wanted to say, into the simple mechanical action. Seeing Kanye's antics, NieR smiled. She was stuffing her face! Oh my god, that's so cute! So f***ing cute! I was right, you were hungry. No, that's not it. Kanye's muffled words were drowned out by a village girl's voice. She peeked at them from the village gates. So this is where you were. NieR, come. Devila is going to laugh. Eh? What's wrong with Devila? Straightening himself from his crutch, NieR ran with a jump start. He's going back to the festival with the village girl. Well then, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, NieR waved. Kanye merely watched him go in silence. The gate was closed again. The bowl's delicacies seemed to have lost their color. Oh man, Yoko Taro. He gives you something just to take it away. The cruel A victim of discrimination, I feel for you. Suddenly a voice creaked inside her head like a flash. Kanye put her hands around her head and staggered. The next moment she felt the presence of a shade in the grass and reached for her sword. Whoa! You kill us shades on sight. Us? Kanye widened her eyes. The voice resounding in her head that was of a shades can speak? Impossible. Kanye was ready to laugh it off. However, the left side of her body was not as forgiving. It was blazing hot, and her left arm engorged to several times its normal size. Chunks of black matter moving of their own will. Shades resound with each other. Just like the voice in her head had said, both her body and heart were being invaded by a shade. She probably didn't have many days left until she became a complete shade. With a snap, darkness filled her vision. She should have been able to see, but she couldn't. Her body is rejecting colors. So this is despair. Kanye bit her lip and tried to support her staggering body with her two swords. The shade spoke. A complete shade. Hey, aren't you misunderstanding something? In the first place, you are... Shut up! Don't look in my heart. Die, you fucking bastard. Using all her strength, she stuck her swords into the grass. Her killing intent towards the shade was the only thing that empowered her. Shades are her grandmother's killers. 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 Kanye's eyes were stained red, and her hair stood up on their ends. Filled with bloodlust, she licked her lips. The shade looked like a black mirage, and when it jumped out from the grass, Kanye took after him and swung her swords. She put enough strength into her swing to dislocate joints. The shade's words continued to come from the direction. Stop it! Hey, please stop it. Are you happy? If you kill shades, your grandma will be overjoyed. NieR will be happy. That's good, isn't it? Then what? Even if you kill us shades, the discrimination you suffer won't lessen. You still won't be able to join in festivals. That's how the world is. I know. I understand, because I am. The shade's words were cut off. Kanye's sword severed the shade in two from its head. Though they look like shadows, cutting the shade feels raw, like cutting through meat and severing bones. Usually she'd push her sword all the way from the Shade's head to its feet, but tonight, her sword stopped midway. The last screams of the Shade echoed in her hand. Showering the Shade's expelled bodily fluids, Kane contorted her face. You are wavering, aren't you? Even within the last sights of its life, the Shade tried to talk. You are beginning to understand, aren't you? Us Shades are the true... The Shade's voice was thin, covered by its shallow breaths. However, Kane still heard it. Something she didn't want to. Truth was hammered onto her. That's a lie. Even as she groaned, Kane knew that the Shade's words were not lies. She understood in some deep part of her heart. She knew that they were the humans. The Shade stood up before Kane, who fell onto her knees. Lugging along its corpse-like body, it tried to escape, tried to survive. At that moment, Kane heard the sounds of explosion. Following the source of the sounds, Kane looked up at the sky. Fireworks were exploding in the sky. It looked like it was part of the program that Popola arranged. The fireworks left behind bright trails, and the color returned to Kane's heart. Behind her closed eyes, the image of her grandmother's horrible corpse after being devoured by the Shades revived. In her peripheral vision, she saw Emil's sleeping form, and within her heart, she felt NieR's desire. Death to all Shades. You fucking shithead. I won't forgive you. I'll never fucking forgive you. Kane groaned and stood up. Strength and warmth returned to her body. I see. That's too bad. I thought you of all people, turned into something you don't desire, would understand the pain of discrimination. Shut up, shut up, shut up! Kane screamed. She bent her knees and jumped towards the fleeing Shade. She held her swords over her head and swung down. Even when the Shade ceased its movement, she still cut away at its corpse. She felt the voice in her head would return if she stopped for even a moment. Screaming, she continued to swing her swords blindly. How long has it been? She felt a warm breath on her ear. Stop it. Please stop, Kane. It's okay. It's already dead. When she came to herself, Emil was holding her back. I see. It's dead. Wiping the bodily fluids and thin slices of meat off her blade onto the grass, Kane finally sheathed her swords. She probably held it in a firm grip for too long. Her calloused hands were full of blood. What's wrong? What happened when I was asleep? Emil asked while bandaging Kane's palms. Kane shook her head and said nothing. At that moment, fireworks were shot from the village once again. Both Kane and Emil looked towards the sky. It's so pretty. The light reflected off Emil's head made him colorful, and he smiled, and then he whispered, Fireworks are great. Even if we're outside the village, we could still enjoy them. Kane kept her silence and stared at the solid gates. Inside and outside the village, she realized that those borders mean so little to her now. Whether she realized it or not, she crossed a huge border tonight. The voice of the villagers faded into the distance. NieR was far off. Even Emil felt much farther from her. Ignorance is bliss. Kane tightened her lips. That's why she'll never tell this truth to anyone, no matter what. Kane closed her heart's door that accepted the secret, bolted the lock and turned towards Emil. She asked, Is it not dawn yet? Oh! She fucking knew! Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Whew.
Vice, you dumbass! Start making sense, you rotten book, or you're gonna be sorry! Maybe I'll rip your pages out one by one, or maybe I'll put you in the goddamn furnace! How can someone with such a big smart brain get hypnotized like a little bitch, huh? Oh, Shadow Lord, I love you, Shadow Lord! Come over here and give Vice a big sloppy kiss, Shadow Lord! Now